But hello! Welcome to Cat. I'm Cat, this is Pixel, and for those who don't know me, I'm a video editor who works in the animation industry. And today we're just going to give you a little tool over Avid so you can get familiar with the workspace, learn how to import, how to cut material, and how to export. Okay, so I just opened Avid, and the first window that you're going to see is the bin window, right here. This one is going to contain every single folder, bin, or script that you ever created for the project. So it's really important that you keep it tidy and very easy to see and navigate. Right next to it, this empty space, this one is going to show everything that we import inside those bins. Now we have these two windows. This one is the source material. So everything that's going to be displayed here will belong to the material in the bins. And this is the timeline viewport. So on this timeline, we're going to see everything that will be displayed into the timeline, which leads me to the last window, which is the timeline window. As you can see, we have in here a bunch of different tools that are available to us. We can always customize them and add more. If you want to learn how to do that, check my video where I set up all my keyboard. I even show how to pour more tools on this bar. So if we want to create our first bin, all you have to do is right click on the window and go to new bin. I'm working on a Mac, so my shortcut to do that is Command N. When I click it, and a new bin has been created. So I'm going to call this bin material. And if I were to create any folders, all I have to do is also right click, new folder, and I can call this folder. To put any bins inside this folder, all you have to do is drag and drop. Okay, so now it's contained inside this folder. Now, as you can see, as soon as I created that bin, it actually opened. Whatever bin or script that we were to open is going to pop up right here. This bin is empty. So the next thing I want to show you is how you import into these bins whatever material. In this case, I'm just going to import a file that I have. So you right click, input, import media. Okay, so now you can navigate and find whatever material you want to import. In this case, I'm going to import a video. And if you see here, show options, you can actually pick which drive you wanted to import into, as well as the codec you want to import your source material. I'm going to show you in another video how to set all your media creation properly, but I'm going to skip it for this video. So I'm going to choose this one, which is the most common codec that we use, at least in animation. And I'm going to select open. Okay, so my material is now in. Now, I actually do need a timeline where to cut it into. To create a timeline, all you have to do is right click, new sequence, default template. There you go. Now your first timeline has been created. I'm gonna call it timeline. Just as a side note, you can actually customize all these bins with every single column that you want or not want to appear. But I'm actually going to do a whole video about it. So let's skip it for now. Okay, so there are multiple ways to actually import this material into your timeline. One of the fastest ones is to simply drag and drop, and it's right there. But I actually want to show you the source monitor and what it does. So if you just double click on your material, it's going to show up here. And you can actually see everything that is in it. Now, you actually have the ability to see this material in a timeline before importing. All you have to do is go right here to this little toggle source. You click it, and you can see now I actually see the material that is on my source monitor that belongs to this clip. So it might be easier for you to navigate, especially when you have audio and maybe you want to check the waveforms. It might be way easier for you to do so here. So just as a side note, if you ever want to really be sure on which timeline you're on, all you need to take a look at is this line. You see here? This one is green. And as you can see, the line of this monitor is also green. Now, if I go back to the timeline, my regular timeline, you can see is blue, the same way that in here. Also, whenever you're on this one, it gets highlighted green. So it's another nice way to kind of like see where you're standing. Okay, now another way that we can import this material, I actually don't want to import the whole cut. Maybe I just want to cut in from here. I just mark an in point to here. I'm going to mark an out point. So with that selection made, I can either drag and drop, so I can see my selection is here already, or I can press the overwrite button right here, or even the splice in button. I just really want to take a minute to show you what's the difference between the two of them. As you can see, there's a lot of options that come in yellow or red. The biggest difference between the two of them is that the yellow creates space. So if you have any material and you were to import this, if I click the yellow option, it's going to actually create the space for it. So it's going to move everything apart to make the space to fit the material. Okay, so as you can see, it moved this last section to the right to fit this whole new section. Now, the difference between this one and this other one, this one is going to overwrite. So it's not going to create any space. It's going to take whatever space is already in the timeline. So if I do this, it got right away inserted completely and overwrite what used to be there. You see, so I don't have anymore, the rest of the material is gone. So be very careful on which one you want to use. Okay, so now that I have my material imported, we want to start editing it. So one of the first tools that is one of the most important ones to cut is the Add Edit tool. To open or to have access to the Add Edit tool, you need to go to Tools, Command Palette, and in the Edit section, you'll find it here, Add Edit. If you have button-to-button reassignment, you can grab it and drop it anywhere. As you can see, I actually have it right here. But I also added it into my keyboard. For me, I assigned it to my letter N. If you want to learn how I did that, please check my video about how I customize my keyboard. But for now, I'm just going to press a lot of N's in a lot of sections. Let's say this is the editing that I want to do. So to move any material around, I'll simply select in here. You can see you have these arrows. You can select either the red or the yellow. I'm going to show you what happens with each. All you have to do is move your cursor on top of your clip. If you go to the upper portion of your clip anywhere, it's going to become red. But if you go to the lower section, it becomes yellow automatically. And as we said before, everything that is red overwrites. Everything that is yellow makes a space. So I'm going to select this clip with its audio. You just hold Shift and you can select everything. Okay, now everything is selected. And with the red version, I'm going to move my clip right over here. And as you can see, now the clip has overwritten what was there. So now, if I do it with the yellow arrow, you're gonna see how it's actually creating a space. So now this one moved to make space for this. The same here, it moved so it makes the space for this clip. Okay, little side note, I don't like to use this yellow one because I always make a mess out of it and I don't mean to do that. So I simply right click and never select it. So whenever I'm around a clip, it's always going to just give me the red version. Anywho, now this one. This one is how we do trims. There's also two options, the red and the yellow. Okay, so if you go to the middle of a cut, it's going to become this white icon. And if you press your cut, with Shift you can even press other sections that you want to move with it. It's going to enter into trim mode. And with trim mode, you can move everything from left to right, however you like. And in here, you can usually preview side A and side B of your cut. So you can be more, specific of where to do this cut. But on the other hand, if I only want to move this clip, for example, I can move it up. It will create another track. If I do red, again, upper portion of the cut, you can simply move and extend. Of course, every clip will only extend as long as the material allows. Okay, so before I show you how to use the yellow one, I forgot to mention something very important. You see over here, these numbers here are the name of your tracks. You can select and deselect as much as you would like. Right next to it, we have these kind of dashes. If you go to the TC one and you select it, it's going to highlight everything that you have in your timeline. These dashes are very important because they are going to select everything that is going to move when you enter trim mode. So just to explain and show what I mean, if I go to this clip to the end and go to the yellow option and I click it, you see there's created all these little vertical lines that is showing me where the cut is going to be. But for example, let's say, I don't want to move this track at all. I don't want it to get trim. If I click here, you see this line disappear. If I click it back, it appears. So if I were to have it on, everything will move. Now, if I actually deselect it, that one is not going to move. That track is not going to get touched by the trim mode, okay? Another very important thing to keep in mind if you don't want to make a mess. On the other hand, you can actually choose where to place these vertical lines. All you have to do is press Shift on your keyboard and select which tracks. Maybe I want this one actually here. So now if I move, you see those ones are the ones that are going to move. Okay, another little side note, if you ever want to create more tracks, all you have to do is Command U for mono tracks, Shift Command U for stereo tracks, and Command Y for video tracks. I'm really sorry, I don't know the commands on PC, but I guess it will be whatever is right next to Alt, probably Control, I guess. So it will be Control U, Shift Control U, and Control Y, probably. I hope so. I'm so sorry if it isn't. And before we export, I just wanted to point out something that is very important. Every time that you import material, okay, let me show you how this used to be before. As you can see, I have the blue lines of tracks and also the green one. All this green one actually shows the material in the source monitor. You can see I have only 3 tracks. These very same 3 tracks are going to be here. So, this is very important. Every time that you want to import something, it's very important that you actually select to which track you want this material to be added into. So as you can see, my track 2 and 1 and 1s are pretty much taken. So I will create more tracks as I just showed you. And if you click and drag, you see this little arrow gets created. If you drop, it changed. The same here. I'm gonna put it in 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4. Actually, it should be the other way around. There. Now, another important thing to keep in mind. Sorry, there's so many little things, but these are important, okay? Very important. If I do Command A, everything will get selected. Shift Command 8, everything will be deselected. If I try to import like this, nothing is gonna get imported. You see, I just click Overwrite, nothing happened, nothing appeared. And it's because I don't have anything selected to import into. But if I click the tracks that I want to import in, and I hit Overwrite, it did. Now, if I do it with Splice-in, it's also going to import without moving anything. Why didn't it move anything? Because it's only going to affect the tracks that are highlighted. In this case, these tracks don't have any other clips. But, let me undo. If I were to select all the other clips, actually let's select these ones. Okay. If I do overwrite, everything on B1 and A2 got overwritten with a filler. And if I were to actually do a splice-in, everything moved in this case. Okay, important things. Now finally, let's show how we export. Okay, we did our trims, you know, we moved the material around. So let's export now. There's a bunch of ways to select all your material, but let's do the most basic one, which is an in point. You can see it marked here. Then you go to the end, out point. Now everything is selected. Everything that is highlighted will get export. So for example, if I export like this, the audio tracks are not going to get exported at all. So make sure you actually select everything you wanted to get exported. So now that I have my selection, all you have to do is go to your timeline viewport, right-click, export, and you need to select where you're going to place this, this export, the name. And if you go to options, you can actually select whichever codec that you desire. Usually we do this one and then convert, but let's say we want an MOV. This MOV is going to be DNxLLB, as the same as the timeline. It's going to be stereo, let's say, and we put save. And at the end, we just click save. We just export it. If I want to find it, I'll just go to my desktop. It's right here. And there we go. Okay. I really wanted to show you more, but let's, leave it at this for now. I'm gonna make way more videos about how to cut, how to select material, how to customize whatever viewports you would like to have. But let's wait for those. They'll be coming. And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and leave me a comment to see which other content you would like to see. And we'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.